Hello students, a very good morning to all. I welcome all of you to my English class. Today we will start a new chapter from your semester 1 book, and the name of the chapter is It Could Happen. So students, all of you get ready with your semester 1 books along with your pencils and turn to page number 59, chapter 8, It Could Happen. So here students, this chapter is basically a chapter of imagination. Okay, this lesson is a source of enjoyment. You will enjoy while you read. The chapter starts with a question. The question is, imagine, suppose you woke up one day and the world around you or the world in which you live has changed. How will you feel then? How will you react? What will be your very first thought? I guess you all will be very nervous and excited at the same time, isn't it? Your eyes and your heart will fill with curiosity. Now, we will read a story about the day when everything changed. It is not a true story, okay? It is a fictional story, made up story. It is a story of imagination. Now, I will go on reading paragraph wise and simultaneously I will go on with my explanation. So all of you give your full attention up here. You will need to listen the pronunciation and intonation I do. Okay? Let's start. One day, overnight, the world turned violet. Just about everything turned violet, from the sky and ocean and mountains to the trees and animals and people, and from the tallest skyscrapers to the tiniest ant. People sat around looking at one another, wondering if they were dreaming. But nobody woke up and everything stayed violet, all except for a single blue jay who hadn't changed color and it stayed the brightest blue. Okay, so first of all of you underline the words that are red in color. Skyscrapers, underline the word skyscrapers, and after that underline the word blue jay with your pencils. Okay? So here in this very first paragraph, the story starts like that. One day, overnight means within a single night itself, the whole world turned violet in color. You all are familiar with the color violet, right? So everything in the world turned violet, from the sky above, ocean, mountains, to the trees, animals, people, the buildings, the high buildings, even the small and tiniest ants turned violet in color. People woke up in the morning, sat around in the place, looking at one another, confused, wondering, thinking if this was their dream, like if they were in their dreams in their sleep. But everyone realized that it was not a dream at all, and the world really turned violet, except for a bird, and its name was Blue Jay. Okay, so Blue Jay is a small North American bird with a bright blue back and a gray front and feathers. So only the blue jay bird remained in the same original color, the only bird that didn't turn violet. Coming to the next line, being the only thing in the world that wasn't violet, he was caught and put in a cage. So the blue jay bird became the object of curiosity for the people because it didn't turn violet like all the other things. As every creature and everything in the world turned violet, the blue jay bird became an exception. So he was caught by the people and put in a cage. Now, coming to our third paragraph, people were shocked. Some were afraid and some were amazed, and a few thought it funny because, along with everyone else, the president was very violet. Whole families were violet, as were teachers, movie stars, doctors, nurses, petrol pump attendants, the Queen of England, the President of Mozambique, taxi drivers, everybody. So here in these lines, people were shocked, some were afraid, some were surprised, and some thought it to be very funny because along with everyone else, the president also became violet. All people, including the teachers, movie stars, doctors, nurses, workers, and the Queen of England itself, taxi drivers also all became very violet. Next, they went from place to place in their violet cars and buses and rode violet bikes and sat on violet furniture and ate violet food. Even candy bars had turned all violet, as had chips and chocolates. Girls generally thought this yucky, but some boys thought it was cool. So people went from place to place for their works in their valet cars, buses, bikes, etc. They even sat on valet furniture and their food was also very violet in color. So basically students, all the things of the world became violet, isn't it? Candy bars, chocolates, chips, etc. all were violet in color. And girls thought this to be very disgusting, yucky. So here the word yucky means disgusting or unpleasant. So girls thought this to be very disgusting or unpleasant. They didn't like it at all. They didn't like the color violet. But boys thought that it was very cool. That means according to the boys it was very fashionable and attractive. Am I clear? Now all of you turn to page number 60, the next page. We will continue it from the next page. The smartest scientists in the world gathered to figure it out. Was something wrong with people's eyes, or was it a trick of nature? They did studies and tests and analyzed and evaluated and debated and wrote article after article but couldn't explain it. So here, the smartest scientists from the whole world gathered together to figure this out. They thought what had happened. Was something wrong with people's eyes, or was it a nature's work? The scientists examined, analyzed, and experimented with various things. They had done different tests based on this. They even wrote different articles. They did everything possible, but all in vain. They couldn't find out what happened to the world. The scientists also couldn't explain the fact why the world turned violet in color. Am I clear, students? Have you understood? Okay. Coming to the next paragraph. And no longer could people say they felt blue or were green with envy or had a green thumb. So what they said and how they said began to change. Some people said that violet was now the most important color in the world because it was everywhere. Others said that the violet had no importance at all because there was too much of it. They discussed and argued, joined clubs, held debates, wrote books, and produced movies all about the issue of the importance or unimportance of the color violet. Now, students, please underline the first line of this paragraph. And no longer could people say they felt blue or were green with envy or had a green thumb. So please underline the whole line with pencils. Okay? Now people here no longer say that they felt blue. That means they felt sick. Here the word blue means feeling sick or feeling unwell. If I say I feel blue, that means I feel sick. Okay? So now people no longer say that phrase. They also stopped saying they were green with envy or had a green thumb. Here, green with envy means feeling very jealous of someone, and green thumb means capacity to do gardening or planting. So people basically stopped using all these blue and green words. They only spoke about the color violet as it had become the most important color in the world. Why so? Because it was everywhere. But some people were of the view that violet color had no importance at all because there was too much of it. So the people gathered, discussed, fought, argued, joined clubs, held debates, produced movies about the color violet. The color of the blue jay became a big issue because he had such a little bit of blue and the world had such a whole lot of violet. People argued about the importance of that. Some said the blue jay must be a very special bird or maybe not a bird at all because he alone had kept his true color. Others said that this was silly that the blue jay ate bird seed and drank water and fluffed his feathers, and that other than his special color he was just still a bird. So here the color of the blue jay bird had become a heat topic of discussion among people. It had become an issue that why the whole world was violet and why the blue jay bird was blue. Some people say that the bird might be special. Some other of the view that how could be the bird special because he ate the same things like the other birds. So other than his special color, he was just a normal bird according to some people. Coming to the next paragraph, it was exactly 1 year to the day after the world had turned violet that people awoke to find that the world had turned yellow all except the blue jay. So again, one day, overnight, within the night itself, people woke up in the morning and found that now the world had turned yellow. Now it's not violet in color. The violet color had gone and replaced by the yellow color. So everything in the world now was yellow, including people, things, animals, birds, food that people used to eat, everything. But only the blue jay bird retained its true color. Only the bird remained the same color as it is like before, that is the original blue color. Okay students, so now let's stop here today. Let's wrap up here. I will continue with the explanation in our next class. Till then, bye bye and take care.